In today's video, we will be discussing 5 rarely mentioned lifestyle changing factors that we believe you should take into consideration when buying your HDB flat. The last thing you want to do is to make one of the biggest purchases in your life, then come to regret the HDB flat you have purchased. No one likes the feeling of looking back and thinking, back then I should have. Well, fret not. As always, Home Quarters is here to provide. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Hi everyone, my name is Casey here from Home Quarters. We specialize in customized marketing strategy to properly expose your unit for sale and also properly guide you through the facts and figures to purchase your next dream home or investment property. In this episode of Real Talk, let's take a break from crunching numbers and calculating grant, loans and down payment and talk about some factors that may really matter to you when you are buying your next dream home. Well, these factors get more and more unique towards the end. So for this, you will want to stay tuned for the last one. Right, these factors may not be the most practical and we acknowledge that practicality is important, but it's undeniable that we all have our personal preference. Incidentally, a preference that may apply to most is pets. Right, the Housing Development Board or HDB is extremely strict about the type of pets allowed in HDB flats. Right, did you know that cats aren't allowed to be kept in flats? We have already discussed this once on the channel. Do look back on the previous video, but we'd like to reiterate this again for all cats lovers out there. HDB does not allow you to keep any feline friends in your flat. Moreover, only 62 HDB approved breed of dogs are allowed with height restriction for mixed breed, and you can only keep one dog in your flat. If you can see yourself wanting to keep a pet in the near future or already own one now, do keep this in mind. Another factor that is rarely mentioned is fees that aren't as obvious at first glance. We are talking about fees that you never knew you needed to pay till you move into the house. Some example would be, say, faulty water heater, electrical wiring problem, pest problem, or leaky taps. These are the sort of things people don't usually pay attention to until they have moved in and then get extremely annoyed when this small problem keep popping up. Right, after a while, this problem just snowball and you find yourself incurring additional charges to fix this problem that could have been avoided by buying another similar flat that just a tiny bit more expensive. Right, of course, these are small details that Home Quarters would never miss. If you are looking to buy a flat that suits all your needs, we got you covered. Alright, so next up, let's talk about weird floor plans. Like very weird fan-shaped floor plans or houses with no corners. While these floor plans may not strike you as troublesome at first, you may realize when you try to furnish your house that it is super hard to maximize the amount of space you have bought. HDB flats aren't the most spacious in the first place anyway. When you have to leave a space empty because of a weird floor plan, you find yourself either frustrated with or at a loss as to how to use that space. And it ends up as wasted space. Sure, you can fix this with good renovation, but this will definitely be incurring additional costs to you that could be even more expensive than usual due to the extent of the customization needed for weird floor plans. Another additional tip, when first viewing of a flat, do take note of the floor plan of the house on your own. Some owner may try to cover up some unique floor plans with their own furniture or renovation. For one, a lot of people like to consider high floor versus low floor as a key factor when buying a HDB flat. But what about the location of the flat on whatever floor? For example, would you be willing to buy a flat that is right next to the garbage chute? What about a corridor unit where there is a lot of foot traffic? Or a corner unit that may be a little bit more private but can feel a little bit stuffy and you may have to walk quite far from the lift? Another question that a lot of people don't talk about is this. What about if you have to buy that little space outside the flat that extends the space of your house? Yes, it is possible to buy that small little space called recess area as we have discussed it on our other video. But certain conditions have to be met in order to do so. Do keep this question in mind when you're thinking about buying your flat. Alright, lastly, for all you foodies out there, let's talk about gentrification. Is this term unfamiliar to you? We'll break it down for you here. It's the process whereby a neighborhood slowly changes to cater to wealthier folks. right? This isn't exactly happening in Singapore, but we can observe something similar. In Tiong Bahru, we have seen a spike in the number of artisanal cafe and restaurant rather than old school coffee shop and hawker center. Sure, Tiong Bahru market is still open and available, but to those who are fan of cheap, traditional Singaporean food over expensive cappuccino and pasta, this might be a factor to consider. On the flip side though, if you always wanted to live in a high SES estate that's filled with tons of cafe, you might actually want to consider moving into a neighborhood that may undergo gentrification in the future. Right, so let us know what you think about these 5 factors. Are they weird enough? Have you thought about these factors before, or are there any other quirky ones that we have not mentioned in the video? Right, leave us a comment down below and we always love to hear your opinion. Right, if you found this topic interesting, we actually did an entire huge article on this topic as well. It's a little bit more in-depth, but still as fun as interesting. Right, click the link down below and you will be directly directed to our editorial. Right, here at Home Quarters, we are all about meticulousness and perseverance. Our client needs comforts, and we constantly consider other angles that we believe you may want to prioritize when buying your dream home. Alright, so if you want our opinion or advice on buying a home, selling a home or whatsoever, do drop us an email, homequarterssg@gmail.com, or pop by Facebook, Instagram at homequarterssg. As always, thank you for sticking around. My name is Casey, and remember, call Home Quarters and start packing. Do take note of the floor plans. Who are fan of the cheap traditional Singaporean food over those expensive. If you have always wanted to live in those carton-ass